So should we start, guys?
Yep, let's start.
So welcome from the FIWARE offices here in Berlin to another session during our FIWARE Smart Fest. It's all about data spaces, and talking about data spaces, we are here in the session accelerating data spaces creation in AgriFood. Yes, if you want to know more about data spaces and FIWARE technology, I can recommend you to read the FIWARE for Data Spaces position paper. And I wish you a very good session here, moderated by my dear colleague, Jason Fox, who's a senior technical expert and evangelist here at FIWARE Foundation. And I really wish you a really good and fun session and enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Max. As you pointed out, I'm Jason Fox. I'm the Senior Technical Evangelist at the FIWARE Foundation, and I'm the moderator for this session. Could you get my slides up? Just explain who's doing what and when, because you don't really want the moderator talking too long. Can you get the slides up? I'm getting those slides, so do I need to put the slides up myself? So I'll do it this way. Could you put the slides up, please?
I'm bringing it up. It's
okay.
A while.
Fine. It's taking a bit longer than I expected. So anyway, I've got three presentations here today. Could you get the second one? It's going to, and you can see that I'm just going to ramble on for a couple of minutes. First, we've got Harold Sunderbecker. I'll introduce these people coming in. Then Irina Providenza, and then finally Carlos Calleiro. But if you move on to the one slide I've got before I actually give you on to someone else explaining, my job at the FIWARE Foundation is explaining how all these concepts come together. I run a load of webinars. And the great thing about doing stuff with agriculture is it's a very easy paradigm for people to understand how these data spaces come together, because everyone's got some idea about how a farm would work or what have you. So, for example, you can understand there are multiple actors in the farming scenario. You could have a veterinary practice, you could have a farmer, you could have a consortium of farmers, you could have a series of participants going from farm to fork all the way through. And you can understand that each one of these people have got a different understanding of what the product is, the animal is, or the plant is, and what information they want to present or share. So you can see there's an obvious opportunity to use data spaces to expand your understanding, better understanding of what's going on, better decisions, hopefully more profit, because let's face it, that's the reason why we're doing it. So anyway, rather than letting me ramble on for 5 minutes explaining why you want to do this, let's get on to some people who actually do this for real. So our first presentation is going to be from Harold Sunderbecker, who's the senior researcher at ATB Bremen and vice chair of the FIWARE Smart Agri-Food Support Committee. Been working over 20 years in agriculture. Over to you, Harold.
Jason, thank you very much. Let's share my screen. So, yes, thank you very much for this nice introduction. My name is Harold Sundbecker, working at the ATB Institute for Applied Systems Technology. And so today we are talking about data spaces and in agriculture. And I wanted to try to discuss a little bit from where we are coming from, where we are going, because I think in the moment we are really, how to say it, we are on the move, I would say. Possibly you saw this picture already here and there, as when we are looking at the agri-food domain, it is really an evolution from, let's say, the old old-fashioned. I don't know if we shall call them old-fashioned, but however, not products without any digital capabilities. And step by step, we added new features. So nowadays, when we're looking at the farm itself and looking at farm management information systems, which are possibly for a farmer, let's say a focus point, we have also quite different systems nowadays, which are every now and then exchanging data, and for a different purpose. We have nowadays already quite a huge amount of data which is used for smart farming. And I think when we're looking at that, we might say, yes, this is possibly the start of data spaces. And at the very end, let's reflect when we are having such a conceptual graphic, what we are talking about. Also, when we are talking about innovation. And this was also what we did in projects in the last years. We were talking a lot about automation. So like even autonomous driving of tractors, and also about tracking, tracing, also in the livestock management. We used a lot of new devices, IoT devices, to get really new data about our animals. Well, this could also help us to learn about animal welfare, to learn what is going on with the animals. And I think more and more also with the younger people, it's also the interest is really raising in such topics. Also predictive analysis. We also saw quite some solutions which are trying to facilitate monitoring of health situation, not only sustainability, also health situations, while also supply and demand. But when we're looking at those examples at the very end of the day, these are more or less, as I wrote also in the header, quite limited to single stakeholders. So these are solutions. You have your somehow interoperability of systems, but somehow remaining at one stakeholder. And we might ask ourselves, so how will also consumers benefit? So, and then most recently, I also saw a nice presentation. This was from the European Commission. So it was a workshop on common European agricultural data space and the Digital Euro program. And I like this slide also from Max Lemke, who brought this up, because I would say when we're talking about data spaces, I think there are so many topics we're talking about. And it's not that we are done with a definition. I think there's more unclear than there's clear, to be very to highlight this. And also when we're looking now at the different types of information, because we must remember it's not a green field. And when we're looking in the past about decades of standardization and about standards, and like what I said there about arable farming, when we're looking there at standards, exchanging information between equipment, like the ADAPT standard, what was done with farm management information systems, it's not that we can say, oh yeah, now we are reinventing the wheel. I think there is already a lot. And then when we are trying to define a data space, so what at the very end of the day, what is it? Is this a centralized, a decentralized, a distributed, a federated system? Well, we possibly might need to say it might be a bit of everything. So as we also need to ask ourselves, what is its purpose? What are we doing with this? And I think it won't replace, when we're talking about data spaces, it won't replace all the achievements and standards from the past. In contrary, I would say, we can really take advantage of what we did before. So, however, it's a new dimension of data exchange. I think we can start now with new possibilities, new visions. What we saw also with this system of systems approach, we can go towards a circular economy, and also thinking more about consumer related innovation, because there we can really think on the data which might now be available. So, and at the very end of the day, also cross-sectorial data exchange, that we can really open new interaction between sectors. And I think also that we have new opportunities when we're looking now at the pandemic, have new type of reactions in times of crisis. So assess sustainability, and also jointly develop rural and urban environments. We did quite a lot of work, and this is now going more to the details. This we did in the IOF project, and there we talked a lot about interoperability points. So also with other colleagues, we talked about minimal or mechanisms for interoperability, so minimal interoperability mechanisms. So there is already a lot of work done and also a lot of material available. And we think there are also a lot of modules and components already available. And we also tried there to give, and there are some nice reports where you can also, when you're starting thinking in those directions, where you can have also kind of understanding state of the art. Where are we? What components are already there? And now when thinking in terms of FIWARE, we also can remember that, and therefore I took this graphic. It's not the latest version, but however, I think it's very important when we're talking about data spaces. I think where we started here already at the top with the farm management and farm management information systems, where we could use really the context information management layer to facilitate really the operation of different systems and really facilitate the exchange there of data. We can really, what also Jason said before, it's also about earning money. We can talk about service monetization. There are already components available via FIWARE, about data marketplaces, about security, privacy, and trust, about authorization, authentication. And also we can integrate in such environments. Therefore, I was also bringing there this 365 FarmNet, Farm Management Information System, just one example of many. But also there, if we have their open development environments, how can this be integrated into such architectures? And last but not least, and I think this is also a very good effort done in the FIWARE environment, also collaborating with a lot of organizations about harmonized data models, because that's really a next step of making things really deployable and easy to use. And I think that is really important also for developers. And this will bring us to, let's say, new potentials when we are going then up in the chain, about smart trays, about intelligent logistics, about balancing supplies, about process control, and even augmented reality for consumers. And I think this is also, we need diverse information, and especially the more value we want also to bring to the consumer, we really need to bridge the gap between, let's say, farm to fork. And that's really a challenge in terms of information. And therefore, I think data spaces might really help consumers to understand the taste of food. I would really like to understand what is the taste, not just what is the absence of pesticides, but what is the taste of my food? And this shall be my buying decision. Also talking about dynamic best before dates and best for what? For a salad, for the weekend, barbecue, share food, avoid waste. I think a lot of potentials where we need to exchange data, where the data needs to be available and understand sustainability as hard fact. And what I want also to highlight, this I saw yesterday in an advertisement in the web on a retailer here in Germany, and they are talking about, so the right way to more sustainability. But at the very end, what are they talking in the moment about? Follow your heart more often. Well, that's about trust in the moment. We're talking mainly about trust and general certificates, not about hard information. And I think data spaces could really support such initiatives with more tangible data in the future. And I think in the future, we really might provide consumers a really different dimension of data with using such components like provided by FIWARE. So thank you very much. I'm also highlighting here projects I'm currently active in, highlighting here a German project and also Smart Agri Hubs, possibly you heard about when you're coming also from the AgriFood domain. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Harold. I mean, obviously, one thing to highlight is there are plenty of data models like, say, weather forecasting or weather observed, which is totally cross-domain. And you could imagine a situation where a city is providing weather information, which is useful for, say, local beekeepers or something like that, because they know, the weather's coming from this direction. Then local farmers are saying, well, I'm spraying this pesticide at the moment, probably not a good time to let the bees out because the weather's coming in from the southwest, and so on and so forth. And by connecting all of these things end to end, you can see that you end up with eventually a larger amount of honey in your system. You've got more profit. That's what we're here for. So let's move on to our second use case, where we've got Irina Providencia from the FIWARE Innovia iHub, who's been working as a business developer in the software house Team Dev, and is now project manager for Innova. Over to you, Irena.
Hi, thank you so much, Jason. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully it's working.
Quicker than
yeah?
I am.
Can you see it right?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, so as Jason just said, my name is Irene, and I'm the project manager for the FIWARE Innova Hub, which is the first and only digital innovation hub powered by FIWARE in Italy. And together with other companies, we participated into this initiative called I4Trust with a project called AgroTrust, which I'm going to talk to you about now. So basically, the purpose of the AgroTrust is to meet the needs of European farmers and all the agri-food supply chain stakeholders, providing them with a set of tools which is crucial in order to reply to several requirements related to their daily work. So as you can see here, all the process of the supply chain is under the operate of the project. So all the workers involved can manage their activities regarding, for instance, the plant protection treatments in their field and their traceability using a chain of trusted data. So that's the focus of our project, having trusted data to share with all the supply chain and all the consumers. Verifying also the compliance with all the legal obligation, both on national and European level. And therefore, the project improves the traceability and the certification of agricultural products, managing the interaction from the farmer to the final consumer. So here, I decided to put this image because it's very clear, and it's clear like the process and the fact that we wanted to connect all the dots, as it was stated in the title of my presentation. And so basically, the AgroTrust project was inspired by the digital twin paradigm, aiming to create a secure and regulated data flow and to obtain a near real-time tracking of all the information collected about the digital history of a product. AgroTrust guarantees indeed the certification of products, their quality and healthiness to all the stakeholders involved in the production process, as well in the agri-food market in general, so even for agronomists, consortia, and of course the consumers. One of its goals is also to fight forgery and imitation issues, which are unfortunately increasing within the agri-food production. AgroTrust applies the iShare paradigm to the agri-food sector, assigning to the exchange of data a security code that records and tracks step by step the history of each agricultural product, from the farming to the storage, in order to guarantee consumers a certified quality product. The project is totally related to the rice production, but this system can be easily extended to other products like vegetables, fruit, legumes, cereals. This means that at any time, each supply chain stakeholder, but also and especially the final consumer, can reach in total transparency the origin, the properties, and the entire agri-food chain of the selected product through its own smartphone, so with a simple QR code reader, consulting all the truthful information gathered on the timeline along with the production. And as you can see here in the corner, it's not only like a process which has only one direction, but even the consumer, so it can be done even backwards. So even the consumer can actually give feedback and give information to the other stakeholders, so to the rest of the supply chain. So this is the purpose, to have a shared and trusted flow of data which can be exchanged into all the process. So the AgroTrust experiment aims to be a transparent certification solution which reinforces the relationship of trust between the consumer and the whole production chain, enhancing high quality and allowing farmers and producers to guarantee food safety for every citizen. At the same time, the tool allow the farmer to trace all technical information of the substances used. AgroTrust is in fact able to connect different software platforms that support farmers, food processors, and agri-tech solutions providers in the traceability and certification of their agricultural products. AgroTrust exploits, in fact, the European Plant Catalog Open Data, the National Open Data on Pest Control, and the notarization services through the use of a already operational blockchain ledger in the Agri Open Data module. It could be easily connected also to the European Blockchain Services infrastructure if needed, when that will be fully operational. So this is what you can see here, basically like the technical tools that we used and the sources of all the regulation, both national and European, and also like external sources that we are using through the projects. And so yeah, basically now unfortunately we don't have a lot of time.
Sorry.
So, no problem. So I cannot go like into the technical details or to explain to you which are the other partners. But of course, I'm so here you have my contacts, and we are available to reply to your questions. Thank you.
It's interesting to see that the idea of trust in your agriculture is absolutely nothing new. If you go back to the 1850s, the idea of having a brand for your product, your bottle of beer or what have you, was actually again saying, you can trust that this particular product is coming from us, and that it's good quality stuff, and it's worthwhile paying for it. It's nice to see how the way that technology is advancing means that we're actually going back to actually fully understanding the end-to-end supply chain. Well, I'll try and keep this short, because obviously we are very short of time. So let's briefly introduce our third and final speaker for this section. So Dr. Carlos Calero is involved in multiple R&D projects, sensor wave, digital animal, and has participated and expert in several FGs of the Spanish Ministry of Agriculture. Over to you, Carlos.
Hello to everyone. Thank you, Jason. I'm gonna try to upload my presentation. Can you see it now?
See a slide.
Yes, I see this.
Yep.
Okay. And can you hear me properly?
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Then, well, first of all, I would like to say hello to all of you, and to thank you for giving us this opportunity to disseminate this project, which is just going to start. It's called Farm for All, and is one of the finalist projects of the first call of I4Trust. This is an initiative boosting the development of innovative services around new data value chains. Okay. Well, currently meat production is a topic, at least here in Spain, where even politicians are talking about it with cattle in the background. So this is creating a higher interest from consumers about having more information on the meat production chain. However, currently data sharing between the agents of the meat supply doesn't exist, and this is due to the low availability of reliable data and the lack of tools facilitating its exchange. Now, data are normally entered manually and mainly to meet the standards of food safety. Well, the objective of the project is to develop a data service platform to connect all these agents, allowing data sharing and trying to offer them with higher value added services. Well, these agents in the value chains are the producers, the feed suppliers, veterinarians, cutting rooms, supermarkets, and now the idea is to facilitate a higher degree of monetization and automation, and also to try to establish all this automation along the meat chain supply with the consequent economic savings and improvement in traceability. Next one. Okay, the goals. Now the goal is, the challenges are quite high. We are trying to digitize industries which are not digitized, like livestock farming and meat processing plants. Then, in order to achieve this, we are developing IoT devices and cloud solution, and also we must interconnect and integrate diverse ICT system and data sources. Finally, we must guarantee safe and permissible access to the information generated by the different agents. And well, I don't want to go too deep on the details because I think I don't have too much time. But the benefits are trying to allow this transparent exchange of data between all these different agents in the sector. Offering all this information for public administration, certification entities, meat processors, etc. And also my hope is to allow the creation of new digital passports where the new meat products are linked to these passports or seals, trying to transmit really the differentiation and the added value, not to the final consumers. Well, I go back to the technical solution. I'm just want to say that the context broker is the core of the solution, and the idea of what we are trying to achieve. I'm gonna give you an example. No, let's suppose that we get through the collar, we detect a low activity level in the animal. Then the artificial intelligence algorithm detects the anomaly and generates a notification that will be sent to the farmer, but also to the veterinarian. Then the veterinarian will register the treatment also, and will share this treatment in the data space, so that at the end all this information is stored, and it will be available for the meat processor and finally for the consumer, through this new idea of digital passport. Okay, I'm going to go quick. Now let's describe the consortia very quickly. We are the project leader and the provider of the solution, both the IoT but also the artificial intelligence based services. Gepisa is a leading company in the supply of feed for livestock farms. Bricalvet are a company providing veterinary services and genetic consultancy. And then both companies will advise us also in the development of this artificial intelligence-based algorithms, because we want to improve their operations also, as I said. And then we have the meat processor company. They receive the carcasses of the animals and generate different meat products to be put in the market. We have included two demonstrators, to ensure the replicability of the tools to be developed, and its adaptation to different types of livestock management. Then finally, we have also the support of the FIWARE space from Badajoz, and they will advise us in the implementation of the services, and also on the business development with public administrations and consumer agents of this data service. And this is all from my side. You can follow the progress of the project, and you can follow us in our social media. And that's all from my side. Now,
and that's excellent timing as well, because we've just come up to the half hour. One final statement which sums it up. If you can get information like this, you can sell your product at a premium. And the obvious case with Spanish, and I'm desperately known for not being able to speak Spanish, but Spanish ham has got a cachet. Was it Jamon Iberico? You can speak better than I can, and it sells at a higher price. So if you can actually push your product through at a higher price, it's worthwhile having the technology behind it. And this is where the basis of your data spaces can expand the information, the trust, and the quality of your final product.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jason. This is a very, very good comment, because I think the way to start is by these premium products whose market is demanding this all this information, and then
where it comes from, whether it's rice, which is or it's cows or pigs or whatever, or bees, doesn't really matter. If you can know where it's coming from, you can say that this is good quality stuff, and hopefully tasty too.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.